How are you? We're back. It's Tuesday, 27th day of September, 2022. I'm Dan Kuntz, and you have stumbled upon Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, our morning wake up, here we go kind of show that I think needs a new theme song. I think it's time for a new theme song. Maybe I can get one of our more talented coworkers to write an original tune. I'll sing it to start each day. It is 55 degrees. It's hazy. Again, pretty much the same situation we had yesterday. We got some haze from the area fires. The air quality at this time yesterday was pretty good. At this time right now, it's pretty good. But the air quality really degraded as the afternoon progressed, and it got pretty nasty for a while there in the afternoon. Then it improved, and we're probably going to have to do that again today. It's going to be very mild. We're going to be getting fairly close to our record high temperature for September 27th. I don't think we're going to get there. I think the smoke and the haze is going to keep it from happening, but we'll find out. Forecast details are on the way, as is news, as is sports. The Mariners are back home after probably their worst road trip of the year, knocking on the door of the playoffs. Haven't secured their seat at the table yet, but it's getting better. They got Texas in town for a series. We'll preview that. And coming up for you area veterans on Thursday, very important event. Going to be held at the Confluence Technology Center out there in Old Station. Tony Sandoval is coordinating. Tony Sandoval is the Chelan County Veterans Program Manager, and Tony's going to give you the information that you need for area veterans. It could be a bit of a maze to get through all the paperwork and all the different things that veterans are eligible to get, benefits and stuff like that. Tony's going to put them all in one nice little package for you on Thursday. He'll preview that in the back half of the program. I had a nice visit with Tony yesterday. We'll air it for you today. 55 degrees, hazy. Here we go. Let's take our tour around north central Washington. As always, we begin with any camera that can give us a pretty good view of the valley itself. And sure enough, our lower east camera on Wenatchee Heights will do the honors once again until we get our main camera back up and running. And the haze looks a little thicker today than it did yesterday. Right now, our air quality in Wenatchee, let me check real quick, is at 40. That's still in the good range. Leavenworth is at 62. That's moderate. Cashmere is at 92, which is moderate, but it's getting pretty close to unhealthy for sensitive groups. Everybody got into the triple digits yesterday afternoon. And again, it's because of those fires. Now, there is some light rain in the forecast on Wednesday night, but it's not going to be enough to help out. It's only about a 20% chance of rain at that, so even if we get any, it ain't going to be much, and it's probably not going to fall in the area where the fires are burning, high above Lake Wenatchee. Camera 2, the good captain gets to decide, and we're going to visit, is that the Orondo Rock camera? Smallstown? Yeah, okay. By the way, Captain, your microphone isn't turned on. That's a nice view, beautiful view of the sun coming up. Getting these shorter days. We're 11 hours and 53 minutes of daylight today. So we still losing about 3.5 minutes of daylight per day. Sunrise this morning was at 6:55. So it's going to get to the point where the sun will be coming up right about the same time this show starts. Camera number 3. Yes, I can hear you now, Captain. Third camera will take us to mountains, lots of mountains. I'm going to say I don't know what camera we're using here, Captain. You threw me for a loop here. I'm seeing some high popcorn kind of clouds. I'll say San Antonio, Texas. Good morning to San Antonio. Now you're going to have to zoom it out so I can figure out where we're at. Let's see. That's the Bear Mountain camera. Good morning to Lake Chelan. Always a pleasure to see you. And let's move on to camera 4, Captain. He doesn't want to, so we'll just stay here and I'll sing. That is got to be, I don't know, number 1 canyon. Let's see, Hose Landing. Oh, number 3 canyon. We now have a 3rd canyon. I did not know that. Beautiful view. I want to say Hose Landing, but I don't really know. That's the Cougar Ridge camera. Okay, well, good morning. That's actually Cougar Ridge, come to think of it. High above the east side of the Otobashian Bridge. Let's move forward. We got some record highs possible. Now, possible, we think we're going to get to about 85 or maybe 86 today. Our record high on this date is 88. That was set back in 1963. OMAC has a very good chance because OMAC is not dealing with the smoke and the haze. Your forecast high to the north of us, about 90 degrees, and that would set a new record. The old record of 89 was set back 104 years ago. So we're going to be kind of close, right around 85, maybe 86. Our record high is 88. For the record, yesterday we hit 83 with a record high of 86. So there's an outside possibility we can at least tie that record high temperature today before things really start cooling off considerably as a low pressure system arrives tomorrow, and then we'll warm right back up again. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Haze, haze, unfortunately. Outside of that, it'd be a nice day. Again, right around 85, give or take a couple. 55 for the overnight low tonight. On Wednesday, we're going to start seeing the clouds come in. We'll see some sunshine in the morning, but then this low pressure system will arrive Wednesday afternoon. It's going to stick around for most of Wednesday and on into Thursday. We do have a slight chance of light rain in the overnight hours Wednesday night into Thursday for the Wenatchee Valley. It looks like most of the rain is going to be relegated to the far eastern corner of the state. The big ridge of high pressure has been dominating our weather, is now centered over far western Montana, so it's already beginning to move out of alignment. And I don't think we're going to see 85 again for quite possibly the rest of the year. You got to remember, we're bumping into October this weekend, so any high temperatures in the 80s in October, at least mid-80s, is pretty rare indeed. So once we get through this little blip on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to warm right back up. Friday's looking good, and right on into the 80s we go, lower 80s anyway, on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And again, that 85-degree high, pretty close to a record on this date. We'll fill you in on whether we did that or not at this time tomorrow. It's 7 minutes after the hour. After a 1-minute break, we'll have your headlines on this Tuesday morning. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
Some thought it would never happen. The Supreme Court taking away a woman's right to choose. A right to privacy that existed for almost 50 years. It's extreme and dangerous. Now some DC politicians want to ban all abortions with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. As a doctor and mother, I am outraged. As your congresswoman, I won't stand for it. I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message because this fight is now.
High clouds, a little hazy, 56 degrees. We'll be up to mid-80s anyway, close to a record high. I don't know if we're going to get there or not, but plenty warm for this time of the year, certainly. A big cool down on Wednesday, spills into Thursday, and then we warm right back up to sunny and much more warmer than normal temperatures by the weekend. 8 minutes after the hour, we have the latest information on that homicide on Friday night when that 22-year-old Kashmir man shot dead in the heart of Kashmir, downtown Kashmir. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say Gustavo Urbinia Sotelo. He was pronounced dead at Central Washington Hospital after gunfire broke out just about 11 o'clock Friday night in the 100 block of Applets Way, just outside of the local headquarters of Kashmir Valley Bank. 24-year-old Jesus Torres Lucatero allegedly confessed to shooting Urbinia 3 times with a handgun after Urbinia threatened Torres and others in the bank parking lot with a baseball bat. Also arrested was the suspect's brother, 22-year-old Guillermo Torres Lucatero, for allegedly driving away from the scene after the shooting. The two were arrested by emergency response teams early Saturday at their home on Weatherland Drive in Kashmir. Neither has been formally charged, although they remain in custody at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Police say the incident appears to involve a gang rivalry. The case remains under investigation. A 41-year-old Moses Lake area man suffered gunshot wounds to his leg Sunday morning after 2 intruders broke into his home. The Grand County Sheriff's Office said at about 6 a.m. Sunday morning, occupants of the home in the 12,000 block of Road 4 Northeast reported that 2 men had entered their home, shot the homeowner, and then stole several rifles and pistols before fleeing. The sheriff's office said the victim was treated at Samaritan Healthcare for the wounds and was later released. Nobody else was injured. Anybody with information on the shooting is asked to call the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Speaking of that, an investigation by Ephrata Police has cleared a Grant County Sheriff's deputy for his involvement in an August 6th altercation after the deputy's stepdaughter was allegedly inappropriately touched by another man. The investigation by the Ephrata Police Department recommended sexual assault charges be brought against the unidentified man. The report on the incident indicated that the deputy confronted the man about the alleged assault at a home in the 10,000 block of Dodson Road Northwest, but there was no physical contact between the two. The investigative report has been turned over to the Grant County Prosecutor's Office for possible charges. Well, cooler weather is coming, and that means assessments of Chelan County's fire danger beginning to creep downward. Late last week, the Chelan County Fire Marshal's Office lowered the fire risk rating from very high in most of Chelan County to simply high. Chelan County commissioners made the move official with a resolution passed yesterday morning. Fire Marshal Stephen Rinaldi says while the risks are declining, the county will keep its Stage 2 restrictions in place to limit activity and travel in areas that are prone to wildfires.
With regards to the travel restrictions, we're going to maintain Stage 2 so that we stay in lockstep with our state and federal partners for this coming week. Tomorrow we'll have another meeting and we'll review it, and we anticipate that we will start to lower the fire danger rating again, potentially, and then also we should start to back off of the restrictions, but we're going to maintain them as long as our partners are as well.
Well, as you know, there are a number of unplanned wildfires burning in our region, but the State Department of Fish and Wildlife is going to do some controlled burns this fall to, of course, help offset future fires. About 500 acres in the Clockham Wildlife Area in southern Chelan County are designated for some controlled burns. They will be carried out starting in October as long as the weather permits and the risk of fire spread is minimal. Additional burns on fish and wildlife lands could be scheduled beyond that, depending on conditions. In last winter's census found 113 people living without shelter in the Wenatchee Valley. That's about 48% of whom live in their cars. Last week, the Wenatchee City Council approved a suite of spending, the bulk of which would help establish 2 safe parking areas for those cars and RVs at the Wenatchee Rescue Mission. Those homeless residents would also be introduced to a spectrum of social services. The council approving the more than $2 million in spending unanimously at Thursday council's meeting.
In talking with the rescue mission on this, we asked them what it would take if they did these 2 safe park facilities to also do low barrier shelter units on their site at the same time. They said that with the staffing that they would have for the safe park system, it would also accommodate the shelter units, and the only cost they would have to have 45 low barrier shelter units, the pallet shelter units that you've previously seen, would be to spend $100,000 on a restroom upgrade to make it ADA, and then potentially some additional outhouses if needed. So really, the benefit of having the Phase 1 safe park there, and then also the individual shelter units, is because it's a campus. We're getting in a big savings operating it all in one location. The anticipated opening date for the Phase 1 safe park is yesterday. They're already starting to locate folks there. And their outreach person who's already been hired has been contacting all the RV owners in the area on the streets and is sequentially placing them. 95% of the RV owners on the streets want to locate here. There's a maximum capacity of 17, so at such time we're able to open the second site. We have a lot of folks interested in that second site as well.
Thank you to staff for getting on it right away. We had folks out there early last week. All of our public works staff got that up and operating, and there's some campers there now. Fences are up, so it looks good, and actively looking for a second spot. I think it's going to be needed. It's unclear that it's going to be needed, but I think it doesn't take long with your eyes to figure out that there's going to need to be another location somewhere in the valley. So anxious to get all of this stuff started.
This is so important for each community to establish something, because it is going to save a life. It will. You know, just to have that outreach to go somewhere. And it's the right step Wenatchee's doing.
Puts them in touch with those people who can offer them the help the most. But I think it's also going to make our school districts or school zones a little safer. I know there's been a lot of citizens who've come to us and been very concerned about that. So I think this is a win-win for everybody, citizens as well as homeless.
Now you're in the loop on what's making news on this Tuesday morning. We will have a newscast for you, as we always do, without holidays. We take holidays off on and weekends too. And, we'll have a news for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with a preview, the anchor Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, possibly record-setting high temperatures in our Tuesday weather forecast before a cool down comes our way Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a look at tonight's prep sports action, as well as the Mariners as they kick off their series with the Texas Rangers. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Don't forget, if you got a news tip, give us a call at the number you see at the screen. You can also go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and contact us with the contact icon. You go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app, or just email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. Still to come, sports. The Obscura holiday, some celebrity birthdays today in history, and a brand new opinion from my Mad Dog Mignotti and my conversation with Tony Sandoval, who handles Veterans Affairs for Chelan County, about the big seminar coming up on Thursday. We'll have all that for you between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. 18 minutes after the hour in sports, the Mariners are back home after a much-needed break. Their worst road trip of the year. Now it's 10 games to the end. The Rangers come to T-Mobile Park tonight. 6:40 first pitch, Root Sports Northwest. Robbie Ray will start for the Mariners. We don't know who's going to start for the Rangers. They haven't told anybody yet. Seattle's magic number to clinch the wild card is 8. That's the updated number, by the way, for Major League Baseball. So any combination of 8 Mariner wins or Baltimore losses would put the Mariners into the postseason for the first time since 2001. That is the longest streak in all professional sports teams in America. But they're not there yet, and Toronto leads the American League wildcard chase by 3 games over the Mariners. They beat the Yankees in 10 innings last night, 3-2. Vlad Guerrero Jr. had the walk-off RBI base hit in the bottom of the 10th for the Blue Jays. Baltimore refuses to go away. The Orioles bombed 5 home runs in Boston last night, beat the Red Sox 14-8. Baltimore has now won 80 games this year. They're just 3.5 games back of Seattle for that third and final playoff spot. Despite changing defensive coordinators last offseason, the Seahawks are still struggling on that side of the ball. Take a look. Seahawks are near the bottom of the NFL in several key defensive categories, including overall yards per game, yards per play, rushing yards. They're allowing 157 rushing yards per game, and Coach Pete Carroll says, yeah, we need to improve on that.
We saw a lot of improvement offensively yesterday, and it looked like the kind of game we've been hoping to see, where there was balance and we protected and we ran the ball some, and guys making their plays, and we converted on third down, all those things. You know, didn't turn the ball over to the last play of the game. So a lot of good things there, and that we can build on. On the other side of the ball, we didn't get it done on the early downs. They were able to make enough running the football where they stayed with it, and were really consistent about that. And the runner did a nice job, and we didn't get enough stops in critical situations. Gave up a couple big runs, and that really led to their numbers and all. The third downs don't look that imposing. They were 4 for 7, wasn't very many of them, but they had big plays on those third downs that kind of changed field positions. They had explosive plays on third down wins for them that caused us some field position issues and stuff like that. So we've got stuff we've got to zero in on and get done, and it's obvious. We played real hard. Special teams played really hard. They neutralized stuff that we thought that was the best special teams group we had seen in the early part of this season, and we played them well. And the thing that's frustrating about it is that we had a lot of numbers that we generally kind of consider as ones that make a difference in a game. That it didn't work out. We're plus turnovers. We're over the 50 mark. With completions and runs. We stayed in control of the ball. We had the ball more than they did. I mean, there's a lot of things there that would spell go down and win a football game. We've been feeling pretty darn good about it last time down, but it didn't happen. So we're still battling, and so we're going to keep going and keep clawing, scratching at it until we get it right and match it all up on both sides of the ball and play together well.
Offensively, Geno Smith has proven he can move the ball up and down the field. That's really not an issue. Coach Carroll says after reviewing 3 games, he's pretty happy. And over the next few weeks, of course, the offense will get to play more and more together.
Yeah, okay. Next few weeks, I think we can make strides. And I mean, these guys they can't help but learn and grow, and they're out there playing and all that. And so, as we all put it together. I mean, how could you, if you like the Seahawks, how could you not be fired up about what Geno's done? He's done a great job for us, and so that's just one of the factors, but it's a factor that was a question mark, and now you can see him. So I'm really fired up about that.
It is the 1-2 Seahawks and the 1-2 Lions at Ford Field in Detroit on Sunday morning. Detroit, by the way, their offense is ranked 3rd in the NFL heading into the game, and Seattle's defense is ranked 29th. Something we'll have to give. All right, to the prep schedule in North Central Washington. Let's get going. To the pitch we go. Girls soccer at 4 o'clock. You got Oroville hosting Bridgeport. Madison has a date with Lake Roosevelt. That gets going at 4:30. Pateras will visit Brewster. At 6 o'clock, Under the Lights, Prosser at Ephrata. Chelan is in Quincy. At 6:30, it's Cashmere hosting Cascade. At 7 o'clock, you got Sunnyside at Eastmont and Moses Lake hosting Davis. The small school volleyball schedule gets underway at 5:30. Pateras will host Easton. Thorpe visits Antioch at 6. The 6:30 matches have Okanagan and Manson, Brewster and Lake Roosevelt, Orville at Tenasket. Cascade visits Cashmere, and Quincy Place hosts to Chelan. For the larger schools in volleyball, East Valley's at Ephrata in CWAC play. That's at 6:30. Big 9 volleyball has Eastmont at Sunnyside, and Moses Lake travels to Davis. Eastmont will try to make it 3 Big 9 wins in a row Friday. It is homecoming for the Wildcats. Sunnyside's in town. The Grizzlies are 1-2 on the season. They beat West Valley last Friday, 41-20. We'll have all the action with Eric Granstrom and Paul Collard on the call. Pre-game 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock, right here in high definition on the NCW Life Channel. And we'll be at Leibofta Field at the Apple Bowl on Saturday afternoon. Girls soccer at 1 o'clock, Wenatchee and Moses Lake. Sebastian Moraga will have the call there. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday, the 27th day of September. 4 obscure holidays on my docket. Today's National Scarf Day. Today is National Corned Beef Hash Day. Never much cared for that. National Crush a Can Day, which was a real cool thing before cans were aluminum. Now it's not so much. No, today's National Chocolate Milk Day today, and as near as I can tell, the guy who gets credit for chocolate milk is Sir Hans Sloane, who was from Ireland, but he was working in Jamaica in the early 18th century when the Jamaican locals gave him coca mixed with water. He stirred it all up and drank it and said, "This tastes like garbage." And so he mixed the coca with milk and said, "This tastes a lot better." And then when Hans Sloane returned to Ireland, he brought his little concoction with him, sold it for medicinal purposes. He gets credit. I have my doubts. I mean, coca's been along for 2,000 plus years. Somebody must have thought about adding chocolate to milk along the way, some way. When I was growing up, regular milk was 5 cents for the little one for your hot lunch at school, but chocolate milk was 10 cents. And I don't know why, because they have just about the same medicinal values. If you like a good glass of chocolate milk, go for it. Enjoy. Today is National Chocolate Milk Day. Now that's overdoing it. Chocolate milk with chocolate on top. Getting diabetes just looking at that. Today in history, sports history was made on this date, September 27th, 1930. Bobby Jones wins the U.S. Amateur, and therefore Bobby Jones doing something that nobody had ever done before, winning the Grand Slam in a single calendar year. In fact, it's never been done since. The Grand Slam in golf back then was the Open, the U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur, and the British Amateur. The two amateurs are no longer parts of the Grand Slam. They've been replaced by the PGA Championship and the Masters. The Masters tournament didn't even exist in 1930. Nobody knew what to call what Bobby Jones had done, so a sports writer in Atlanta dubbed it the Grand Slam because it's a bridge term for winning all the possible, well, you know it is if you play bridge. Bobby Jones completes the Grand Slam of golf on this date 92 years ago today. And happy 24th birthday. Maybe it isn't really a happy birthday for the behemoth that is Google. Google retroactively calls this date, September 27th, 1998, as their birthday. Back then, Google wasn't much of anything. Google and YouTube are the two most visited websites in the world. Facebook is third. Twitter is fourth. Google is the largest search engine, mapping system, navigation platform. Google is number one in providing emails, Office Suite, video sharing, photo sharing, cloud services, mobile operating systems, web browsers. It's a behemoth. It keeps getting bigger. The federal government continues to try and chop them down, and all Google does is they keep buying up other websites like YouTube. And now their parent company, Alphabet, which controls the planet. Happy birthday, Google, which is, I think, everybody's internet search engine now. I mean, it's you know, everybody's web browser uses Google. 28 minutes after the hour, birthdays. This morning, the good captain said, "Who's Sam Ervin?" And I had to explain to him, Sam Ervin was the chairman of the Senate committee investigating the Watergate burglary, and Sam Ervin became an American icon and a bit of a folk hero. He was a senator. He got the job because everybody figured that Sam was not going to run for re-election. In 1974, he did not run for re-election. He had no aspirations beyond being a senator. He had a deep knowledge of the law. He loved the Constitution. He was a conservative, independent-minded Democrat, so he was perfect to chair the committee, and he did. When Sam Ervin retired in late 1974, he actually made an album. He recorded a record. It's really, really bad. A great senator, a bad singer. Sam Ervin, born in this state in 1896, died in 1985 at the age of 88. Randy Bachmann, the Canadian super guitarist, of course, one of the founders of the Guess Who, left the Guess Who to form Bachman-Turner Overdrive. Happy birthday, Randy Bachman, one of the few rock and roll legends I've actually met in person. His name is not Mockman, by the way, it's Bachman. He's 79 years old today. The greatest third baseman in baseball history, bar none. Mike Schmidt is 73 years old today. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1995 in his first year of eligibility. Nobody played third base in the history of Major League Baseball better than Mike Schmidt ever did. And the good captain decided to add a couple of birthdays, so happy birthday to Sophia of Russia. That's a very attractive woman there. So that's happy birthday, Sophia. The captain added that. And happy birthday to Lil Wayne. I'm going to guess. Lil Wayne's probably, what, about 35? I'm guessing. He's in his 40s now. Happy birthday to Lil Wayne. I knew it was Lil Wayne's birthday yesterday when I prepped the show. I just decided not to put it on. The captain decided to put it on. I miss you, Uriah. Gonna take a break. When we come back, a brand new opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. I know you've never seen it because we have never aired it. And then Tony Sandoval, who's the Chelan County Veterans Program Manager, has got some very important information for you veterans who live in this area. They're going to have a seminar to help you along the way, and that's going to be on Thursday at the Confluence Technology Center. Tony will give you those details when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
Get a little oompa back in your life by visiting the 24th annual Leavenworth Oktoberfest at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. Your thirst will be satisfied with a variety of authentic German beer, and your hunger will be filled with German brats right off the grill. The sounds of oompa will be delivered up in 2 venues with live, non-stop entertainment. Don't miss out. For more information or to purchase tickets, log on to leavenworthoktoberfest.com.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
My name is Anaisa Lemus, and I teach at John Newberry Elementary. I had a tooth in the front that was just always causing me problems. It was just happening so regularly. I went to go get a root canal done, and the root canal didn't help a whole lot because when it came back, both of my parents went to Dr. Divis's office. They really recommended him because he had done such a great job on their teeth. I went and really have had a really pleasant experience with him. He just made me feel really at ease with everything. He was really confident with what he was doing. He said, you know, this is one of his favorite parts of his job, which really made it easier for me because, you know, when you're really passionate about something, you know, they're going to do a good job. As a teacher, my students, you know, I'll tell them randomly sometimes, oh yeah, with my fake tooth. They're always so shocked. Like, what? It looks like your real tooth. And I'm really happy with the results now.
This is Dr. John Divis. Please call us today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, something I ask of my counseling clients is, how many times in the past few months have you lost your temper? Now, regardless of what they answer, I tell them the truth. The truth is that they've never lost their temper. None of us has. Because we don't lose our temper, we give it away. Now, no one makes me mad or makes me do anything unless I give up personal responsibility and let them control me. Saying I lost my temper is the same thing as saying that somebody else did something bad enough for me to act like a jerk, but it's their fault. And the scientific, clinical term for that kind of thinking is BS. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Haunted Mansion returns to Lake Chelan. It's Harvest by Day. Haunted by Night. Experience the second annual Haunted Mansion all October long. Bring the whole family to experience fun harvest and haunted activities like the haunted house, haunted graveyard, pumpkin walk, pumpkin float, scarecrow competition, dog costume contest, and so much more. Get tickets to this year's bigger, scarier haunted house and get details on all the free activities by visiting hauntedmansion.com. That's hauntedmansion.com.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
As the sun sets in Chelan County, the lights come on. Birds, bugs, and us. We all need the night sky. Give our pollinators a little love. Add outdoor lighting controls to your local business. Chelan PUD can pay up to 100% of your new lights and lighting controls that save energy, save money, and help protect our night sky. With way bigger incentives from Chelan County PUD, now through December 31st.
Are you caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this Thursday, September 29th. If you are a veteran, whether times are good or times are hard, one way or the other, you need to be down to the Confluence Technology Center out there in Old Station again on Thursday because the Chelan County Veterans Seminar folks are putting together a seminar for you veterans. It's kind of a smorgasbord of information you might not know about or benefits or things that you may not know about. And Tony Sandoval is the guy who handles these things for Chelan County. Newly created position about 5.5 years ago, you told me?
That's right, yes.
So your day-to-day activity with the county is what exactly, Tony?
So we serve veterans in all capacities. Veterans and their families, let's say that, because we are serving a multitude of families along with, and so the benefits are available across the spectrum for veterans and their families.
And how did this job land onto your lap? How did this happen?
Well, the position was created about 6.5 years ago, and the first gentleman that was in it left after about a year. I had been working with Wenatchee Valley College prior as a Vet Corps Navigator, the state program, and the county folks had heard my name. They called me up, and I interviewed, and ever since it's been quite a ride.
So you have your job with the county, and then you have the Veterans Administration, then you have private groups like Vets Serving Vets who are headquartered out of the bunker there in the Harley Center. How does all of this interact with one another, and Douglas County for that matter?
Right. So what we want to do part of the seminar is just break it down and say, here's what's really going on. Because everyone says VA and they think of the system. And it doesn't really work like that. The VA is actually like 3 large portions. So as a county veteran service officer, we work for Chelan County based on an RCW 73.08, which says Chelan County gives a small tax dollar to indigent veterans. So if you go on the Chelan County GIS and you look how much you're giving to, taxes, 3-4% for schools, well, it's 0.00125% for vets. So literally, if you got a $300,000 mortgage, you're probably paying $1.50. That small money goes to another veteran service officer we got in the office. He's been there a year, Trent Mortensen, who's been doing great, and myself. And we are serving hundreds of veterans each year. In the past 6 years, we have seen, almost 6 years, we've seen over 1,700 veterans.
How do veterans know that your office exists, that you have a job and you're working out of the county camp? How do they even know about that?
Well, Jill Fitzsimmons from Chelan County has done a great job of putting our name out there, doing a great job with the Facebook. We have some of the IT folks that have got us on the county website, and then word of mouth, lots of word of mouth. So it's been really great to be referred to, and we're working hard to study up on all the new things because the VA is constantly and always changing their rules that they play by, and now with what's called the PACT Act being passed, their availability.
So there are, it's a state law that each county sets these up. There are 39 counties, but there's only 17 of these offices so far. Chelan County was the second one, right out of the box. What's going on with the other 12 or so counties? How come they're not getting the job done here?
Right, so every county is collecting the fund, but for a long time, American Legion VFW folks and other folks, they kind of had the idea that, hey, if you're collecting funds, let's get them directly back to the veterans. So maybe a small office at the county was fielding the money, and they'd say, hey, somebody's come in and they applied for the monies, and they just pass it out. Well, it was until Eric Fritz a few years ago from Okanagan County, who was the super VSO up there, he said, here's the program. You guys spend this on a VSO, and somebody, as these veterans come in, you'll change their life. So whether that's plugging them to VA healthcare, somebody comes in with a financial issue and say, are you in VA healthcare? Well, if you got financial issues and you're paying out of pocket for medical stuff, you plug into VA healthcare, that money issue's gone, you start to, your life changes. Plus, there's so many people that have been available to VA benefits in federal dollars, and they just don't even know it, especially our Vietnam-era veterans who were either in Vietnam, now Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Camp Lejeune. There's other places like Palomores in Spain in 1966, nuclear site, that are just being legitimized now. So there's a multitude of people in our area, these hidden heroes, men and women that have just kind of gotten by and haven't had anything from VA, and they're available to it now.
And your clientele is mostly, I'm just spitballing here, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. Obviously, World War II and Korean War veterans they have exited their earthly vessel for the most part. Vietnam War veterans continue they're now in their 70s. So is it the post-Vietnam, pre-Gulf War kind of? So people who serve their country would be like, say, between the ages of like 47 and 57, something along those lines? Well,
so essentially, per our numbers, we have about 70% Vietnam-era veterans we're serving.
Okay.
Still see a couple World War II, still serve some great Korean War veterans, but the benefits were really available to Vietnam veterans based on Agent Orange exposure, and that's kind of when they started documenting things too. So the Korean guys, they obviously probably had some hearing loss and things like this, which is completely understandable with what they went through. But there wasn't a ton of benefits available to them as far as VA compensation. Vietnam's where it really starts. Like I said, about 70% of our numbers are essentially Vietnam-era veterans. And when my era veteran started leaving Iraq, Afghanistan, essentially they started plugging them into direct benefits. So there wasn't that need for them to come in. So we don't see as many of them. Upgrading benefits and things like that we do, but most of them are going to be from 75 to 55 years old.
Again, on the 29th, which is this Thursday at the Confluence Technology Center, it's all day. It starts at 10 in the morning, goes to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're going to feed you. Talk about the agenda on Thursday. What's up for grabs? Why should veterans go to this? Well,
veterans and their families are available to come out to this so they can start to understand. Everyone's kind of been crazy about this PACT Act. The government goes and they say, hey, we're going to pass this. And honestly, it's semi-mind-blowing, considering not only to do a little bit more for Vietnam veterans, adding the presumptive of hypertension, which if you understand your VA compensation benefits, you can have a primary and then secondary. So how many secondary conditions can you have from hypertension? The multitude of strokes and different things like this, it's pretty substantial. Plus, they also said, not only if you served in Vietnam, but, like I said, Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, there's a couple other places as well. But even more impactfully, they said, Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, there's just a multitude of these places. They said, you've been exposed to environmental chemicals and things like this that have caused, and this is wild. They basically said there's several different cancers. They don't say a specific head cancer. They say head cancer, neck cancer, respiratory cancer, reproductive cancer. And so what we're seeing is that they're basically stepping up and saying, hey, we've seen so many veterans of your era that are coming through with a multitude of different cancers in these areas that now it's presumptive. Meaning for the rest of our lives, if you served in the Gulf War on the ground or in the air as well, if you have a specific type of cancer related to something that was exposure-wise, the VA wants to take care of you. And that's pretty amazing.
What is from a local standpoint? Again, we're talking to Tony Sandoval, who coordinates the Chelan County's efforts with local veterans. Specifically in Chelan County, North Central Washington, what's the number 1 concern that you see amongst the veterans, even those who are well-adjusted and back to life, and maybe those who aren't?
Well, like I said, we work with about 70% Vietnam-era veterans, and it wasn't until a couple years ago. My dad was an Air Force veteran, and he passed really suddenly 2 years ago, and my mom had told me that, your dad never wore his Air Force hat until you started your job. Now, he didn't specifically serve in Vietnam, and I don't think that he specifically had, any unwarranted guilt or shame towards that. But at the same time, because he was that era veteran, I feel like he just didn't want to take anything from other people, or he didn't want to show it off just simply because that time frame was such a controversial time frame. And I think what we're really trying to do in our office is say, veterans, it's not that you deserve these benefits, it's that you earn them. And it's okay to be not okay with the Vietnam War, but you still earn these benefits, and welcome home. Because nobody ever said it back then. They said, welcome home. And the VA wants to treat you now. Although they didn't then, they do now. And our local VA clinic is phenomenal. VA benefits can be substantial, and we're really trying to say and make an agenda, because I think that once you're welcomed home, then you can start to give back to the community again. And not that they haven't in so many different capacities, but in service and things like this. So we're trying to say, hey, here's your benefits available. It might not ever be a thank you, but the VA is saying you're eligible for this, and now let's serve each other in this. You're a powerful group of people in this area. So that's what we're working with. And younger guys like myself, having served in Iraq or Afghanistan and things like this, there's still a lot of us out there just working hard, so they're not seeking benefits and things. But we're just trying to stay active with them.
I'm guessing, again, we're talking to Tony Sandoval, we're almost out of time. I'm guessing the paperwork is a quagmire for some of this stuff on getting benefits and things like that, especially through, governmental agencies and others as well. Is that a big problem?
Right. So
I'm entitled to this, or I should have some of this, and I don't know how the hell to go about doing it.
Right. So I think forests used to quiver from the VA just simply because of the redundant forms that the VA would have them set up with. Being a county veteran service officer with the state of Washington, and to answer one of your earlier questions, 17 counties in the state of Washington have paired up with the state VA to basically have coverage. Those other 12 are just doing their own thing. So they're still collecting the tax, but 17 counties are using programs underneath the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs. And we're trying to access benefits for veterans. Now everything is substantially quicker as everything is online. And it goes, instead of going to Janesville, Wisconsin for processing, it goes directly to our regional office in Seattle. cuts a lot of time out. As we know, a fax is not near as good as a scan. So, as far as paperwork goes, we try to make it as simple as possible.
Walk us through the program real quickly, Tony. It starts at 10 a.m. It goes until 3:30. Again, it's at the CTC, the Confluence Technology Center in Old Station. Walk me through the agenda from 10 o'clock to 4.
Right. So at 10 o'clock, we want to say welcome, introduce some of the folks that we'll have there. There's folks from Spokane Vet Center, Yakima Vet Center, integrated healthcare practitioner, some other folks. We want to say, hello, here's what we're going to be doing. Right off the bat, we're going to go into the PACT Act and compensation, because we see that a lot of all these benefits are eligible, or the eligibility of them are based on a compensation piece. If you were there and you're eligible, then there. Two Chefs Catering, who's been wonderful. They're going to do some box lunches. I think we're getting 120 lunches, so you got to show up. We got 120, 140 seats. After that, we're going to go not only compensation, but pension at that point. Then we're going to work into the VA healthcare. We've got a special group called the Home-Based Primary Care and the Home Telehealth groups. Now, these are groups that essentially have a doctor and a nurse that would travel to the veteran's home. And so they're really special because they give not just end of life, but that several years prior to some really wonderful care. And these people are special. They're going to be there, and they're going to help talk about healthcare benefits. One thing that's often not seen as much is like survivor benefits or burial benefits. What is a veteran eligible to at that point? And then we're just going to cap it off with Q&A and some introductions and meet and greets and things. But so a pretty basic day. We could spend days talking about benefits, but we just have our seminar. This is the way we're going to start. So look forward to seeing anybody, veterans and their families, and resources that want to learn.
Tony, how do you know you're making an impact? How do you, at the end of the day, when you go home, how do you know that you've made a difference that day? Is there something tangible out there that you know you've done good?
Well, I mean, we see the metrics, the numbers on the computer, and there's no shortage of any calls coming in. The thank yous and this and that are always extremely kind, and I feel I've been put here to do my job, to do this job. But when it comes right down to it, just meeting veterans, having the availability of the handshake and the friendly smiles, and when, like I did last week, when I field the call from a Vietnam veteran who says, "Hey, listen, this is it, bud. I've got 6 months to live, and I'd like you to come to my house, and I'd like you to explain to my wife what I'm available to, what she's available to." And that was Friday. Monday, I got the call he'd passed away. That's when I know that he was listening enough and she cared enough that they wanted to continue the conversation.
One last thing, if you can't physically make it down there, it's going to be available for you on Zoom, I believe, and we'll put the link up to Zoom. We'll put it on our website and here in the studio, so you know. But we'll have it up when we have the story up on our website. Just click on the Zoom link. We'll have that for you as well. Did we get everything covered?
And we're going to record as well, so it'll be on the Chelan County website.
Good. Yep. Tony Sandoval, it's good to see you. I'm glad to know that you're getting along with your next door neighbor.
Right.
My brother.
Big E.
Big E. Let us know how it goes on Thursday, Tony.
Thank you.
And anytime you want to drop by and say hi, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you again.
Excellent.
All
Much
right.
appreciated.
You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
Some thought it would never happen. The Supreme Court taking away a woman's right to choose, a right to privacy that existed for almost 50 years. It's extreme and dangerous. Now some DC politicians want to ban all abortions with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. As a doctor and mother, I am outraged. As your congresswoman, I won't stand for it. I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message because this fight is now.
As the sun sets on another hot summer, let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa winterize and close your pool. Closing your swimming pool is the most important service to get right. Letting the professionals from Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa close your pool will ensure that you won't cost yourself thousands of dollars in damage next year. Want to save a little money? Consider dropping the water level yourself and save. Don't wait. Blue Lagoon's pool closing schedule is filling up quickly. Call today.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent at Springwater Insurance Group. And at Springwater, we really enjoy being independent, because what that means is that we become an educator and a teacher for Medicare plans, in fact, all plans. So if you have questions about perhaps changing your coverage, going to a new plan, at Springwater Insurance Group, we can teach you all your choices. And we give you the option, would you like to give us a call, maybe have a Zoom meeting? Whatever way works best for you, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group.
When I was about 16, I got in a relationship. He hit me for the first time in front of his daughter. He physically abused me in front of my children. I couldn't do it no more. Sage was there for me when I needed them. I didn't hear a lecture from them. I didn't hear anything, but just acceptance. And that's what I needed at the time. And they help you with everything that you need to move on in life and heal.
Hi, this is Kelly, owner of the Original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee. We carry the latest in quality children's wear like Riley and Crew, Kite Baby, Little Sleepies, and more. Come visit us for mommy and me styles, diaper bags and strollers, and great books and toys for all ages. I look forward to meeting you soon at the Original Children's Shop.
All right, getting ready to wrap up this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. A couple of breaking news stories we need to pass along to you. Stevens Pass is closed again. Yeah, that Bolt Creek fire, it was pretty warm in that general area, and it kind of acted up again over the weekend. And out of abundance of caution, the Washington State Department of Transportation, just about a couple of hours ago, shortly after 6 o'clock this morning, closed a 4-mile stretch of Highway 2 right in the Skycomish area. And, you know, those tall trees and that dense forest butts right up against the highway there. So from milepost 46 to 50, which is basically Highway 2 through the Skycomish area, is now closed in both directions. There are no detours available, unfortunately. So right now, for the time being, you can't get all the way over Stevens Pass. You can get to the summit, you can get to Skycomish if you're driving from here to there, but you can't get past Skycomish. If that changes, we will let you know. And as far as air quality is concerned, we're pretty much where we were 24 hours ago. Right now in Cashmere, you're at 90. That's moderate. Leavenworth is at 68. That's also moderate. The Wenatchee Valley is at 47. That's good. But if you noticed yesterday as the day progressed and the relative humidity went down and the fires that are still burning in the Lake Wenatchee area continued to smolder away, it went up into the air and hit that roof because we have the high-pressure ridge, and it went right back down again, and our air quality deteriorated rather rapidly till about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Then it got a little bit better, and because that high-pressure ridge is still with us for one more day, we're expecting the air quality to unfortunately deteriorate again, just like it did yesterday. But there is some relief in sight. First of all, let's take a look at the high temperatures because we could set a record high today. We're going to be close to it. We think we're going to be right around 85 or 86, right in that general area for the afternoon high. As you see there, our record high on September 27th is 88 degrees. That was set back in 1963. A lot of it's going to really depend on how thick the haze is here in the Wenatchee Valley. If it stays pretty thick and pretty dense, I don't think we're going to get to that 85. We hit 83 yesterday, and they said we're going to be a couple of degrees warmer. That's why we decided to go with that 85-degree mark. Now, up north in Omak, I think you have a very good chance of getting to 90. 90 degrees on the 27th day of September. That's warm. Because Omak's not dealing with the smoke and the haze that we are here in the Wenatchee Valley. So they're going to have much more clear skies. And if they get to 90, that would break the old record of 89 degrees. That was set back in 1918. So we're going to be pretty close, may tie the record high today in Wenatchee. I think Omak is going to do it. From the National Weather Service, one more day of the hot stuff. The high-pressure ridge, the center of it, and it's a big one, the center of it is now over the Idaho Panhandle and far western Montana. And so we're getting closer to the edge of that high pressure ridge, which still means we're going to see one of the warmest days that we've seen, about 85 degrees, give or take a couple. 55 for the overnight low tonight with the clouds beginning to thicken up. A low pressure system will arrive overnight tonight. Tomorrow you'll wake up to some sunshine, but the day will be fairly cloudy for the most part. And we could see some light rain Wednesday night into Thursday for the valley. We could use more rain. We could use a lot of rain, especially where the fires are. Just light rain, sprinkles, if you will, and that would be Wednesday night and Thursday. The cold front will the low pressure will begin to exit. It will bring cooler temperatures. As you can see, we're going to go to 73 degrees, which is about normal on Thursday. Then we're going to warm right back up again. And don't forget, October comes your way this weekend. And that is it for us. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.